What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sean P. the Blanc God. Hey! And we are back again with another Berserk chapter read through. And today we will be reading chapter 10 chronologically. But if you have books, if you follow this through the books, this should be in the arc, The Golden Age, and this should be chapter 2 of The Golden Age. So, yes, sir. We are back. We are getting into it. I really enjoyed the first chapter of the Golden Age. The way it ended got me a little, but we gonna see. We gonna see what happens. We gonna see what goes on, man. I'm a little dreading to know what's next in this chapter. But yeah, before we get into it, make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Follow me on Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And also join the Discord. Let's get into it. We got this cover page, colored cover page at that. We got Guts holding his sword, and you see him in this like long white garb, with a little bit of armor. He usually has a lot of light armor. We don't really see a lot of armor when it comes to Guts. But I'm really digging the threads on this cover page. I'm really digging the threads. We got another cover page, and this time we got Griffith in this cover page. He's looking down at his helmet. It's not colored whatsoever. We're at the Golden Age chapter 2. We see his cover page with Guts holding his sword on sitting on a top of some rocks with a bunch of dead bodies surrounding him. All right, so we get a shot of the moon coming from beyond the clouds, and it's nighttime, and we see Donovan. He seems to have Guts pinned down. Guts says, "What?" And we see Donovan tie some cloth around Guts' mouth, so I guess he can't scream. Bro, I'm not, man. Guts though, man. Come on, man. No, not Guts. Not Guts. And he says, "Quit struggling. I ain't here to eat you. Come on, relax, and it'll be over soon." And he's laughing. Hee hee. Happens all the time in armies. And then Guts gets his arm free and he elbows the hell out of Donovan. And we see some saliva come out of Donovan's mouth. He says, "Oh." And Guts turns around. And then he kicks him in the nuts. Donovan ugh. And Guts goes for his sword. Donovan kicks the hell out of Guts. Sends him flying into a chest. And then Donovan is back on his feet and he says, "Damn kid, fights like a wildcat. Enough or wriggling. I paid Gambino good money." Damn. Gambino, not Gambino. Come on, bro. Come on, Gambino. You can't be selling it. You can't be selling this young boy's butt like that. Come on, man. Gambino over here pimping. He pimping Guts. That's wild. I'm disappointed in Gambino. I was starting to like Gambino. Now I'm a little disappointed in him, man. Selling some young meat, man. Gus says, He looks in shock, learning that. And Donovan says, "I bought you for the night. Paid Gambino 3 silver coins." Donovan says, "Gambino sold your ass out." And Guts says, "No, that's a lie." And then, we see Guts, we see Donovan doing the deed to Guts. So we see the raided village in the background and the camp that, the mercenaries are in. And Donovan is coming out of Guts' tent and he says, "Hee hee." And Guts is just laying on the floor, just violated, man. It really had to violate my mans like that, man. Just violated my man. God, So we see Gambino shaving himself. Bunch of men just laid out drunk. Gambino seemed to have nicked himself. And he says, "Oh, ow, Guts. Go on and make breakfast. Feed the chickens too." We see Guts with his sword. And he's just like looking with like this dead stare at Gambino. Gambino says, "What? You want to do sword practice this early? Sorry, but I got a hangover. Do it someplace else." Guts says, "You mean Gambino doesn't know about last night?" Gambino says, "Get a move on." Guts says, Gambino." Gambino says, "Yeah." Guts looks and then he gulps. I wonder if Gambino knows, but he just kind of taking it like, that ain't nothing. Whatever. It is what it is. Like, maybe that's how maybe Gambino does know. If he doesn't know, then, hey, Gambino still could be redeemable in my eyes. He can still be redeemable in my eyes. Because that's messed up if Gambino did that. If he sold his tail like that, man. Gus says, "Never mind." Gambino looks back at Guts and then keeps going. Guts lifts up his sword and then he slashes the little barrel of water in half in anger. So we see the mercenary group leaving. I guess they're going elsewhere, wherever they can find money. Somebody says, "Sure are a lot of them. Don't let it scare you. They just got beaten. Morale down low." And they say, "Now listen up. Our sponsors' orders are to hit them so hard they'll never think of forming another army." So we see Guts on horseback and some of the soldiers. You see Donovan in the background. Donovan says, "Of course we agreed that all plunder becomes ours. As always, first one there takes all." And he has this creepy, sadistic smile with just a messed up face. And then Guts looks. And then he looks away. Gambino says, "Charge!" We got this double page spread. The mercenaries are charging towards this convoy. Guts is slicing some man in the throat. So that convoy, that wasn't the mercenaries. That was, I'm assuming that was the, whoever the target is for whoever hired the mercenary group. I don't know if that was the people, like the same people that they just defeated, maybe the survivors. They're just like finishing them off, or if this is like a new target. But yeah, they're pretty much attacking the convoy. We see Donovan slashing a man in the head with his axe. And he's having a jolly time. He notices some men running off. I guess some men trying to escape. And he says, "Where do you think you're going?" And they chase after these men and kill them. Donovan hits one of the men in the face with his battle axe. And you see like the man's eyes popping out. And then you see a crossbow aiming at the back of Donovan. And you see one of the arrows shoot from the crossbow and hit Donovan in the back. We see Donovan, he says, He's looking at this arrow. And he looks back and he notices it's a young Guts on his horse. "Hey, Guts, you better reclaim what he took, man. You gotta reclaim that." And then Guts is just staring a hole at Donovan. Donovan says, "Guts, you little," and then Guts shoots another arrow right into Donovan's mouth. And then Donovan falls to the ground. And he ain't dead yet. We see Guts tower over Donovan and he says, "Say it." He got his sword to Donovan's neck. Guts says, "Say it again. Who sold me out? Say it." And Guts has like his sword in Donovan's mouth. Donovan's coughing up blood. And Guts says, "I dare you to say it." And then he sticks the sword in Donovan's mouth and looks like he's killed Donovan. Got his revenge, baby. He got his revenge, baby. Hey, Guts, you get that revenge, my guy. I'm just kind of a little upset that it had to be a black man to do all this, man. Like, why? Why y'all gotta have a black man as the perpetrator of such a crime? Like a big black dude, man. Come on, man. Like we can't be doing these stereotypes, man. We can't be living in these stereotypes. Come on, Muerta. Come on, man. Come on. The only black man in the whole mercenary group had to be the one to do this. The only one that we see, at least. There could be other ones. Oh, man. I'm a little upset about that. So Guts is leaning back on the tree after he just killed Donovan. He's just looking back. He gets back on his horse. It looks like he notices something. I don't know. It looked like he notices something. But Guts ends up riding off into the wooded area. I guess he's going back to catch up to his guys. So I guess some time moves forward. We see a bunch of mercenaries rushing forward, and Gambino says, "Charge! Just one more push." It's a battle going on. It look like Gambino looks. We see guys dying and falling. Guts looks back. I guess he notices fallen comrades. Guts says, "Gambino," and he notices, and we see Gambino laid out on the floor. Look like Gambino could have died, possibly. I don't know just yet. Maybe he's unconscious. But, he's laid out with dirt and rock rubble over him. And we see the soldiers rushing forward, continue their charge. So Gambino seems to have survived. He's bandaged up. His right leg is missing. Doctor says he lost a lot of blood, but I managed to save him. One of the soldiers says, "Come on. He managed to last through the battle like this. It ain't like he died that easy. Still, with that leg, I expect he'll never fight again, chances are." We got to think about what to do and about a new leader. I say Duncan for now. And then we see Guts sitting over at the bedside of Gambino. And he's thinking to himself, "You've always acted superior to me. High and mighty, selfish, cold. Always smiling like you were looking down your nose at other people." And then we see a flashback of them training when he cut Guts in the nose. And Guts is like rubbing his nose. Then we see Gambino. He says, "What? Wait. Don't die on me. Shisu. I'm on my way back." And he's like reaching his arm out towards Guts. Gambino's having a nightmare. And then Guts grabs his hand. Guts says, "That ain't you. It don't sound like you at all, Gambino." And he's holding his hand. And then we get 2 years later. So the mercenaries are back at it again in another battle, charging at something. We see Guts in the front and another warrior coming towards his way with a sword going in for an attack. We see Guts clash with this soldier, and we see the soldier's face. Well, we don't see his face, but we get a close-up of him, and he has like a helmet, and you can't see his face or his eyes or anything. It's just dark inside. And Guts is clashing with this man. The man goes for an overhand strike. Guts blocks it. Then the guy hits Guts with his shield and goes in for a slash. But Guts also goes in for a slash and slashes his neck and keeps it moving. So Guts is apparently he's getting a lot better as far as a fighter. And we see the blood fall. Some time passes and we see Guts running. He says, "Gambino." Gambino's sitting in the chair. He says, "Good dog." And Guts says, "Gambino, look at this." Guts has something in his hand. Guts says, "I killed the enemy general. I won the reward for it. This much should get you plenty of wine and women." And then Gambino says, "Meat?" Guts says, "Huh?" "Meat for the dog." Gambino's still playing with the dog. It's like Gambino's his priorities change. Now he's like an old retired guy who's just enjoying life. Like an old retired guy enjoying life. He don't care, but it's like he didn't care about the meat. He didn't care about the booze. He just wants to please this dog that he's happy training and having a good time with. Seemed like his disposition has grown a lot softer, especially now that he has a dog. Guts says, "Oh," and then Gambino says, "What's wrong? Hurry and get it." And then he yells, "Hurry and get it." And then he smacks Guts across the face with his crutch. And the soldiers look on, and Guts wipes his mouth. And he says, "I'll go get some." I mean, maybe his disposition didn't change. Maybe he's still a little bitter towards Guts. Maybe the dog is the only thing that keeps him happy. I don't know. He apparently cares about this dog, though. Guts, not so much. Gambino says, "Bah." And we see the dog looking forward, looking a little sad. And Gambino looks back at the dog. One of the soldiers says, "There's big bad Gambino up on his hill. We should all be so lucky." And then Gambino says, "Hey, say that again." And the two guys look on. And Gambino says, "Go on. Say it again. And the guy says, no, we didn't really mean it. Gambino, don't get worked up. It was a joke. A joke. Gambino says, a joke? Then why don't we see how sharp your wit is? I don't care if there's two of you. Two guys look, one of them gulps. And then Gambino swings his sword at him. And he says, if you ain't brave enough to fight a wounded man, I don't want to hear any of your crap. So it don't seem like his anger is towards Guts specifically. It's just the man kind of lost. It's almost like he lost his only purpose he had in life, and that was being a soldier, right? So he kind of has resentment, towards the other soldiers, probably because they can still fight and he can't. Even though he does care about this dog, the other soldiers, he has resentment towards them, including Guts as well. And we see Gambino, walking off with the dog behind him. And Gambino just has this super angry, frustrated face. And then we see a bunch of coins kind of like flying about. And we see Guts look like he threw his little pouch of coins to the ground in frustration. And then we just see Guts like slice through this chest, slicing his little bed mat and everything. He doesn't even care. And then he swings at like the little log pole that keeps his tent up, and then the sword is just sticking inside the log, and he falls back with his back against the log. So it seems to be raining on the camp, and Guts is laid out on his bed. It looked like he upgraded, right? Like he created like a actual bed where he has some boxes under it, a blanket over the boxes, and he could just kick back and lay on his bed. Guts is laying back thinking, I should stop thinking about it. Right now, all I need to think about is surviving tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll kill lots of enemies again. Earn lots of money. And then we see a silhouette come into Guts's tent, and you only see one leg, so it looks to be Gambino. And Gambino is in Guts' room with this demonic look over him. He has a sword in the other hand. And Guts looks on and like, what's happening? What's going on? Gambino swings. He actually like cuts through where Guts was laying. And Guts like he avoids the swing. And he says, Gambino, what are you? This man, Gambino is going crazy. And Gambino just has this dead look in his eyes. And Guts says, Gambino. And then he's thinking to himself, he's drunk. Gambino says, it was so careless of me. Things are like this all because I let you stay here. And then Gambino like points his sword at Guts. He says, I figured you'd die before long. Puny little runt. Shouldn't even have been alive anyway. But what happened? Shisu, the one who picked you up, died. Then I lost a leg and had to quit as leader. Too stupid even for a joke. What the hell have you got against me? Giving me evil for good? What have you got against me, huh? Gus says, Gambino, And then we see Gambino has the sword to Guts' neck. Gambino says, you're a devil's child, Guts. A cursed kid who's nothing but bad luck. He says, you should have died on that day 11 years ago beneath your mother's corpse. And then Guts looks in shock. And Guts is like hearing in his head, you should have died. Gambino goes in for another swing and Guts dodges. And he cuts through the tent. Gambino goes in for another swing. Guts reaches out and grabs his sword and manages to block Gambino's attack. But he gets sent back into like a table or a chest. And Gambino standing over Guts. Gambino says, I'll let you in on something. You remember what happened the night of your first battle? Donovan bought you for 3 silver coins. I'm the one he paid. I knew it. He was playing ignorant. He was playing ignorant, but I didn't think Donovan was really lying, because we know that Donovan went to go talk to Gambino. So they talked about something, right? And though Gambino was acting like acting all nonchalant that next morning, just because he was acting nonchalant don't mean he wasn't guilty of it, right? Damn Gambino. Damn Gambino. Why, bro? Gut says no. Why? And then Gambino says, why? Because I was sick of you, that's why. You killed Shishu. And then you followed me around like some lonely puppy. And then Guts looks and he's shivering and he says, why? Gambino's face like blackened out. And we see Guts with like tears in his eyes and he says, why? And then we see Gambino going for a swing and Guts sticks his sword in Gambino's throat. And then it says Golden Age Chapter 2 End. Bruh. See, now things are starting to fall into place of why Guts doesn't just trust people, right? He had so much trust for Gambino, like he built so much trust being around Gambino. He looked at Gambino as a father figure, but then it's like Gambino comes in trying to kill him, and he's like forced to have to kill this man that he, like, the only person he kind of looked at as family, you know, other than maybe the other mercenaries that were around as well, but like the closest person to him. He had to kill him because that man came to kill him. Not only that, he learned that it was Gambino himself, the one who did pretty much accept the money from Donovan to do what Donovan did that night, right? He didn't want to believe Donovan when he told him that, but Donovan wasn't lying. You know, even Gambino said himself, like, yeah, Donovan paid me to do what he did. Bruh. That's wild, man. Like, that's tough. Guts out here, you know, fighting these battles and killing generals and proving himself, and Gambino just held that grudge against Guts. So Gambino always did have some resentment on Guts since Shishu died, right? Man, it's good that we're getting more on why Guts end up becoming what Guts became. So that's good. I really enjoyed the chapter. I really did enjoy the chapter. It's just a lot to process. I try to give Gambino the benefit of the doubt, especially after everything that happened with Donovan. But man, yeah, that's the chapter. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, subscribe and hit that bell for notification. Also, comment below what you thought about this chapter, what you thought about the read through and everything. Let me know your thoughts. Follow me on Twitch. Also, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And join the Discord. All of these will be in the description box below. So y'all make sure y'all go hit me up. But yeah. Still processing that chapter, y'all. It's your boy Sean P, the Bluff Guy, and I'm out of here. Peace.